Well, hey everybody, it's HeapCVA. Welcome to my channel. Man, it's good to see you. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you're having a good one. I'm trying. It's over 100 degrees here. In fact, it's 91 degrees and 8 o'clock at night. So, yeah, not much going outside is going on today. How about another video on Into the Flame? Is that okay? I hope it is, because I've been doing a lot of playing on it, checking out all the stuff that's going on with it, trying different things, trying to understand things I thought I was doing wrong, or seeing if something's actually not working at all. And so while I was doing that for the last couple of days, he put up some patches or notes. They're actually both. Today, yesterday, and the day before. And I thought, well, there is enough information here to warrant another video. Just like I did with Emerge NYC. When new stuff comes out, I try to get on it and post it. So let's start with 2.4C. Bug fixes. The vent fan now properly works to clear smoke. I think I've tried it once, and I believe it did work. The door's now reset after an emergency. That definitely works. And fire collision after reset. I wonder if he's referring to, and I think it's in one of my videos where I had mystery fire, that the building either wasn't on fire or I'd already extinguished it, or I was just driving past a building and the inside had a fire in it, but that no amount of water was going to put it out. World changes. He's adding some detail. I think he's doing a lot of work on the industrial area, and I've seen it. There's the stutter issue. I've seen people talk about it. I really haven't I haven't noticed it as much as other people have. He's doing some other changes he had talked about, and I didn't know how he was going to implement it. He is working on the new fire engine, how it drives. He's changed the grip on the tires, which is definitely going to be help because the back end was really fishtailing. And then he changed the message on the main menu, and he's working on a new ladder, which would be very cool. So we move up to D. From bottom to top, he's starting to, this upcoming week, he'll be working on the prison and the port details. I've been to the prison by accident. Port, I don't think I've been there yet. That'll be neat. He's got some priorities. I can't imagine that list doesn't change constantly, but respawning code is really going to help. Venting zones, I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about. And again, working on new emergencies, the industrial area, and the new ladder truck again. All good stuff. Roll-up doors in the warehouses and industrial area, probably going to be a pain to him for a while. I've known at least 3 games where roll-up doors have been an issue. And some of these things I haven't experienced myself, but are not totally unusual spawning issues in a new game. The starting tanker not being able to be removed from Station 3. I'm not sure if that means you can't drive it to an incident or you can't despawn it. I'll have to figure that out on my own. And then emergencies resetting while players are in the building. Yeah, I guess that's what it was that one time. It's only happened to me once. It was no big deal. And so that pushes us up to 2.4E, where from the bottom to the top, he's going to institute a jumping mechanic for the firefighter, which will help if you misplace the aerial ladder and you need to get back on it, because if you cannot get on the ladder, your only option is to jump off the roof, which ends your character. You respawn and you have to get back to the fire scene. There's a bumper hood cam on the engine, which I've tried. It actually works. And again, he's still working on the industrial area. And every day I start the game, I notice something different. Roll-up doors. That's going to be his life, I think, for a while. The vent zones. respawning into the ground. Again, these aren't simple issues to fix. Removing the rescue at Station 2, that might mean despawning. It might mean something else. I'm not 100% sure. And vent fan use, not in the way we had talked about before, but in a warehouse fire. And first when I read that, I'm like, what warehouse fire? And I thought maybe he'd added an incident in the industrial area. But let's go see what he's really talking about here. So let me close this. We're going to open this and go right into the game from here. Like I said, it still loads super fast. I haven't seen the jittering and stuttering that he is talking about. I consider myself lucky. Plus, I don't need to have everything on ultra settings. So, everything's pretty much the same. And notice there's some different vehicles inside the station here. And then here's that new message that he talked about. I agree with his solid state drive recommendation, but I would also say that if you have a high performance hard drive, I think you'll be okay. I have a Western Digital black high performance. I haven't noticed any stuttering. The other thing that he talks about is it's a RAM issue, not necessarily your machine or the computer. It's just is swapping out as you change scenes. I would always suggest, off to the side, that the minimum game computer memory that you keep is 16. And because I also do some graphics and some other things, I'm at 32. And I'll probably double that eventually, probably by the end of the year. Not because of the game so much, because I use a lot of other software for rendering, Photoshop, stuff like that. Photoshop is a RAM hog. It will take every bit of RAM that you can throw at it. And so I use Photoshop every day. So it's in my best interest to make sure that that's okay. So let's go online real quick. First thing I'll do is we're just going to go right to the free roam map just to take a peek at the industrial area. For those of you that aren't owners of the game yet and you're still trying to make up your mind, I'm not here to entice you to do one thing or the other. When I saw this game, I knew I was going to own it. It was that easy. Other people, I don't have an issue either way with somebody that's, has to watch their money really close. I'm lucky enough that I have kind of collected a lot of gift cards for Steam, and they're sitting in my Steam wallet right now waiting for all of these games to get released. And I've been holding on to some of those cards for over a year. And back then I didn't know what I was holding on to them for. Now I definitely know what I'm holding on to them for. So, here's the fire station. There's both of the rigs there. There is a lot of new, what I call scene furniture in the industrial area. The K-rail, which I call those concrete barriers. Must be a California term. I don't know. So let's get in the engine real quick. Let me show you that this is the camera for the pumper. You cannot look left or right or up or down. At least not that I know of. It doesn't work. You can look straight ahead. So probably not a thing I'm going to use a ton, but I appreciate him putting it on there. And so I'll take the long way around. I can tell that he's done some work on the driving of the engine. And I look around and I can see more scene furniture. There was a lot of vacant lots when I first started. And so I'm kind of curious what some of the incidents are going to be, especially like at the tank farm and stuff. And so It still remains to be seen what ideas he has, but I can't wait. Literally cannot wait. So it's put a gas station in, which is real nice. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Is when he's talking about roll-up doors, you guys do get it, right? That's like this storage building here, or storage facility. This is where you rent a garage-sized room and you store your junk in it that you don't want in your garage. Those are all roll-up doors. I had a fire at the end of this next alleyway here, all the way down to the end where the other street is. And when I sawed through the door, it rolled up and there was another door behind it and another door behind it and another door behind it. I think that's the kind of things he's trying to address, just to kind of help you figure out what he's talking about. Now, I could also be wrong, but that's why I would recommend you check out his post and compare it to anything else you see online. So, that's this area. You know, I don't know that I could really demonstrate anything else to you, but I would like to, and I did it in the last video, and it just makes sense to keep on going, is let's go out, which requires you to push the quit button. Takes you out to the start menu again. Get you here, or we'll have to go back online, which is no problem. But instead of just wandering around the map, the last video we went to the house fire, these seem to me like more simulations or a setup, I guess that's what I was trying to say. Everything is already set up for you, just got to tell people what to do. So the next opportunity is the warehouse fire, which I'm really, really, really looking forward to showing you guys. And it would have been my first time if this wasn't the, I don't know. I don't even know what number take this is because of me. So let's push the launch button and get into it. I almost skipped today, but then the other voice in my head says, don't you do that, even if you get it uploaded by midnight. All right, first things first, let me turn down the diesel sounds a little bit because they do get a little loud in my headphones, and that bleeds into the microphone. So here we are. There's warehouses all over the place. Interesting scenery. Obviously something we're not 100% seeing in the game quite this minute. If this is what the industrial park is really going to look like at the end of the day, it's going to be amazing. So we got one of the little pumpers, which you don't see very often. The heavy rescue. There's a truck company. There's the special ops unit. Let's go around. I don't see any smoke. There's no windows. You can't peek in the windows. No cheating, I guess. I'm trying to see if I see anything that would tell me there's something going on. There's another pumper here. So, okay, now we've seen all four sides. So there's another truck company there. So, what should we do first? Let's open the doors. That's a great idea. That's not exactly what I want. I'll do that, but not quite yet. We're going to HeapCVA up. Get some hand tools. And we're going to pop these doors to take a peek. Well, there's our problem right there, is there's a fire in there. Excellent. So, real quick, I'm just going to pop these two doors here. In real life, obviously you'd be looking for access points on all four sides if you can get that done. Being I'm by myself, I'm not as concerned about that. In real life, you would definitely be concerned about it. So I'm going to I got to exit before I do anything else. I need a saw. I don't believe the little tiny fire engine carries a saw. It does not. So we gotta hurry over to the truck. Because it's not every day that you get roll-up doors in the industrial area, especially. There hasn't been any fires in the industrial area yet. So, and this map may have existed for a little bit, but it took me a little longer than I thought I was going to get to these things. Originally, I thought they were strictly multiplayer. Once I figured out they weren't just multiplayer, well, that changes everything, you know. So I'm going to open these roll-ups. They seem to function okay. So unfortunately, I got to go all the way back to the truck to get rid of this. I guess I could dump it off on this engine. I don't know if that affects, let's say, does it keep the next person that goes to the truck from accessing a rotary saw? So, because I don't have the answer to that question, I'm going to get rid of it here. Back, rip ops, rotary saw. So now, that's done. Now, I'd like to take a little bit of time to get up on the ladder and vent, because I read that there's actually, it functions exactly the way it's supposed to in this scenario. And as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I wouldn't have an issue if the developer created these little scenario things where, let's say, it's a small piece of a larger part of the map or a cityscape just on its own, that it's access to an industrial park like this or a residential or whatever. And it is to simulate a specific incident, and it could be anything. And it could be one thing the first time you do it, and the next time it'll be something else. You just never know. Bury the tip of this in the roof if I can. Maybe not that far. Right there. Good. All right. So that gets that up there. That's good. Let's real quick. HeapCVA back, roof ops, chainsaw. Eat, climb ladder. I appreciate that he doesn't make you lay down to climb a ladder like other games do. I wanted to see, and I actually know the answer to it now, after the... Look, he's jumping. Woohoo, woohoo. Perfect. The roof ventilation is working. The opening is a little weird yet, but at least you're seeing smoke come out, which is a big deal. So I'll cut 3 holes. So we can say we did. And then I'll go ahead and climb down the ladder and go back to being on the engine. I didn't think of anything that was needed off the other 2 specialized equipment. And, having 2 trucks is a nice operational thing, but I didn't need to access the other one. So we're going to go down. This is kind of nice that we did this. My thought would be to have these kind of scenarios where you would... Come on, get out of there. There you go. Be assigned a random incident in a scenario like this, or residential or whatever, like I said, and then you and your friends in multiplayer would take whatever assignments you're given and achieve a goal, put the fire out, rescue the people, whatever it's going to be. And that all the buildings were able to be used at different times for an incident. or multiple types of incidents in any time you drew the card to play in this map. So one day you could have, that's probably a water tank, but let's say it holds, 60,000 gallons of diesel fuel. Well, that would be a whole different set of issues as far as how to deal with that incident. And, even though I still believe the big map needs to be in the game for sure, that this would kind of like be a secondary thing where like the same 10 people play together all the time, and you run it like a pseudo fire department, where you could come into a scenario like this and say, today that high rise over there, you're going to have fire on the upper floors, and you're going to have the trucks up. You're going to be doing the pickoffs and stuff that you need to do to get people out of the building just for that time that you're in the map. And the next time you open the map, the computer assigns you another different type of emergency, whether it's a hazmat or something else, and you get to do that. And you just keep coming back, and it's never the same twice in a row, unless you want it to be that way. And I don't know how that all works. I don't know how that's all programmed, but I just see that there's really a good reason to have both opportunities if you can. One of the things you can't do in a couple of the other games is to create scenarios for your group. You're just like everybody else waiting for the alarm to go off. Well, what if you want to do something specific? Today is your day to drill on hazardous materials or whatever, because that's how you guys play it. I don't know how hard that would be. No clue. But sounds like something that would interest me if I was doing that kind of thing. I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. And I wouldn't want the developer to drop what he's doing and, say, wow, great idea. Everybody else, wait, I've got to implement this one thing. No. I'm not going to be that guy. No. I'm having plenty of fun. I don't need to do anything else. I'm not going to create my own game or do any of that stuff. I'm just not that guy. And I'm not lazy or anything. It's just that I did programming for a while. My brain doesn't even go to those places anymore. That part of my brain is probably part of the part that I lost with my head injury. So it's just easier for me to kind of lean on other people and thank them for their hard work, literally. And this guy's done a ton of work already. This is so much a playable game right this minute. In fact, I'm going to take a picture right about here as soon as the smoke lightens up. There, that one right there, that one will work. That's going to be the thumbnail for this video, if I don't do anything stupid and mess it up. So, I'm going to chase this fire out of the building. And then we're going to do the fan so that we can see how that actually functions. And then we can call it good for this particular video. So, I'm going to stop and put the fire out off camera, because that would take another 15 minutes. And then we'll go to the vent fan, see how it works, because it was an issue that was mentioned, and then we'll kind of go from there. So give me a few minutes. Well, okay, fire is finally out. That took a little bit of time. It's apparently made to be a stubborn fire. That's fine. So let's talk about the vent fan, and let's see how long it takes to get the fan to function. I would have put it right there, but it asks to put the fan at that door there. That's pretty quick. I would have to give that an A+ for clearing the smoke out super fast. And There's nothing going on. You would never even know there was a fire in here, to be honest with you. So, what do you think? What kind of things, let's just talk about equipment today, would you like to add to what you can have to use? Here's my list, very small, is an attack line size hose, and then an attack line size hose for this. So by that I mean like 1.75 inches for most fires, car fires, house fires, stuff like that. And then the opportunity to pull a larger line for this. It would have less mobility, it would take you longer to get around, but it throws more water. That's one of my wishes. The other wish is that on the engines, up on the top up there, would be a big nozzle, which I know is a deck gun. You can call it a monitor. There's a couple of different names for it, that throws water from there into a big doorway like this to take a lot of heat out of the fire. We would do a significant amount of extinguishment, and then you follow it up with hand lines when you have a really intense fire, especially in big buildings like this. Number 3 is hopefully they're coming up with some way to punch the ceilings out in the residential houses where you cut the hole in for the ventilation, but because there's still a ceiling in there, the smoke isn't coming out through the vent hole. It's blocked by the ceiling. And there has to be a way of clearing that. Either give us credit for it when we cut the hole in the first place, if there's just no mechanics for that for the character, or, you know, some kind of pike pole or whatever, if somebody knows what that is. I know the firefighter that's doing this probably knows what one is. A Lowy hook, a trash hook from LA or LA County, one of the New York hooks, a New York hook, a San Francisco hook. I think I said New York twice. Anyway, that's that in a nutshell. So let's wrap it up here. Thanks so much for coming by my channel again. Enjoying another video about this new game in its early stages. Leave comments and the things I asked about in the comments below. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. I try to answer them all within the first couple of days. Just let me know what you think. Or if you have your own ideas of what you want to suggest. I don't know that he checks my channel every day. I know he's been there once. I'm hoping that means that he comes by every once in a while. So those are good things. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Thumbs down if you think I need the work. And let me know why you thought that I didn't deserve a thumbs up. Because I want to put out the best content, and I need to know how to not repeat the same mistake over and over again. If you know what I mean. I'll get back to work making this into a real video. You know and I know we'll see each other, so to speak, in another video on my channel. So I know I'll talk to you soon. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.